And happy Good Friday. It's day 17. Sorry, make that day 21. I was thinking about April 17th for a second. It's day 21 of understanding fear, thinking about thinking, radical understanding. And it's day 7 of don't take anything personally. It's been an interesting week, I will admit that. I don't think I've shaved for the 7 days of this week, but the full moon, a lot of reflection, a lot of time, and really a lot of news that just highlights we're going to be in this for a lot longer. I've done my best to, reach out to those I know. Obviously, I'm thinking about all of you, and I made the comment last night in a call that, and I think I've said this before online, that the last 10 years of my life have really set me up for these moments. And when I think about the end of this week, don't take anything personally, it really hits home for me. And I went for a walk last night, and one of the things that came to me is, for the last 10 years, I'd say probably the first 6 years of the last decade were spent creating an armor around me of not taking anything personally. The danger, if you only live with one agreement of don't take anything personally, is you end up putting this shield around yourself. And what ends up happening is you don't allow love in, but at the same time, your love is suffocated and it's not able to go out. And how do I know this? So we're almost 10 years since I went to court to defend the allegations of being accused of sexually assaulting a coworker. Now, although I was never convicted, never had a criminal record, I was a big fish in a small pond at that time, and the media definitely did not let me get away with anything. And the original article that was put in the paper, although it was completely false and, so many mistruths, misfacts, it really ended up destroying me in the moment, and it still lives on. And I'm actually going to put a picture in the comments once I'm done this, because people just don't get it that every day I still face the rejection because individuals don't want to be associated with someone who was accused of sexual assault. And this has been 10 years. And so for the first 6 years after going to court, I would defend my honor, I would defend the accusation against me. Usually I would just get louder and louder and louder. And I would argue with people, I was innocent, I didn't do anything wrong, how come you're judging me? And all the while, I was not, doing my best not to take it personally. I realized that the accusations against me, it wasn't about me. It was about the people who were judging me and casting me aside. But then, probably around the same time that I was diagnosed with cancer, there was a shift. And I stopped arguing. I stopped fighting. I stopped trying to defend myself. And even today, these are the facts. I have no issue talking about them. And if you don't want to be associated with me, I understand. I respect your decision because your decision is your decision alone. And there's nothing I can do to change that. But it's still there. And it's a daily work. I don't want to say it's a struggle because I learn something about myself in every moment. And that was the insight last night, is that without the other 12 weeks that this 13-week course entails, if you only go with one agreement, all you end up doing is putting a shield around yourself. And in order to really transcend consciousness and really become aware and awake, they all have to go together. But at the same time, there has to be this love. So I think about standing up in that courtroom and hearing that judge dismiss my testimony and therefore only leaving one story and saying, as a result, because my testimony was rejected, that I have to be guilty. I think about those moments and I think about how did that prepare me for now? Because it set me on a journey. It set me on a journey of understanding and learning about myself, learning about others, learning about how we all interact in this human tapestry that is life. And it brought me here. It brought me here 2020, mid-COVID pandemic. I don't fear getting sick. I don't fear anything happening around me. I don't fear losing anything monetarily anymore because I've experienced all of those things. And this is just another blip in my existence, in my journey on this life. So I'll be jumping on later today talking about the hidden mystery of Good Friday as it relates to preparing for change. And Good Friday is really the going through suffering. Man, oh man, does it suck. But when you're in the middle of it, and I'll circle back to don't take anything personally as it relates to the Jesus story later, but when you're in the middle of the suffering, it's horrible. And I can see it in my Facebook feed. I can see it when I go out for groceries, the pain and the despair and the concern that is on everyone's face. And honestly, I just want to hug everybody. Obviously, you can't do that in social distancing measures. But the one thing that I do know is that these moments are going to shape us for the better if we allow ourselves to break open and allow the love in, and in turn, allow the love out. So I love you all. I really wish you have a great day ahead. Nothing's open, so you're even more isolated than probably previous days. But that's not a bad thing. That's a good time to reconnect with self and pay attention to your thoughts and pay attention to the silence. The silence is scary, but the silence is where the answers are. Love you lots. We'll talk to you later. Stay safe and wash your hands.